The living, breathing soul of America wept with grief for every life taken on that day. We shed our tears in their memory, pledged our devotion in their honor, and turned our sorrow into an unstoppable resolve to achieve justice in their name. The terrorists who attacked us thought they could incite fear and weaken our spirit. But America cannot be intimidated, and those who try will soon join the long list of vanquished enemies who dared to test our mettle.
There was President Trump yesterday commemorating 9/11, citing the fight against the evil of terrorist ideology. Now, new video of an Egyptian TV anchor mocking, quote, American whalers, crybabies, on the eve of the 16th anniversary of 9/11. Here's that clip along with English subtitles of what he is saying.
أيام قليلة وهيبقى عندنا ذكرى 11 سبتمبر. وطبعا زي ما انتم عارفين هتطلع بقى النواحات الأمريكية والإعلام مواجهة الإرهاب والحرب على الإرهاب وفي القرن 21 وبعد كم سنة من مش عارف إيه وبعد 16 عاما من بقى يتكلموا في القصة دي من الإرهاب والحرب على الإرهاب، ماذا انتهى في العالم وماذا قدمت أمريكا للقضاء على الإرهاب. قدمت أمريكا القضاء على الإرهاب المصايب اللي احنا بنشوفها في الشرق الأوسط، اللي بنشوفها في بلاد العالم الإسلامي اللي ما عادلهاش ثمن.
Joining me now, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Good to see you, Doctor.
Nice to be with you, Liz. Thank you.
So this anchor, he appeared to be framing all Muslims as victimized by Americans, and that all Americans think Muslims are terrorists when we've listened to and found out what else he was saying. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's the same old tired Islamist mantra, which is to put themselves as it's us against the West, Muslims against non-Muslims. And, you know, as I listen to that in Arabic, the translation doesn't even do it justice. I mean, in Arabic, it sounds like he's whining and really that somehow the West is whining about 9/11. Believe it or not, that's how offensive what he said was. That was on National Muslim Brotherhood Egyptian television. And that's a little window into the war of ideas going on internally in the Arabic community, that the only way the Islamists ever, when they were in power in Egypt, they lost power within a year and a half. The Egyptian population said, we don't want you theocrats running the show, and they put El-Sisi back. Now, I will remind you that the Islamists, when they're not in power, do very good at saying everything is the West's fault, none of it's their fault. So this is what they're doing. That same old mantra is being put into play, and the Egyptian government, while it suppresses, you know, free speech against El-Sisi and others, says nothing and allows this cauldron of anti-Westernism to brew.
Yeah, this is really off the rails, what we found out here. Now, you know, as you're aware, the U.S. has given Egypt nearly $80 billion over the last 70 years. That's according to the Congressional Research Service. Is that ever acknowledged on this side of the aisle?
It really isn't. And you know, what isn't acknowledged is that along with that money should come some sense of us expecting values of Western human rights, democracy, freedom to be enforced in reform. El-Sisi gave a wonderful speech about reform, which ended up all being rhetoric in January 2014, and none of that's being followed up with any accountability for holding his population to the war of ideas internally. So unfortunately, our money, they just sort of take for granted. The Egyptian lobby in Washington is one of the strongest foreign government lobbies, and we continue to give them, despite religious freedom abuses that we see of Christians, of the Coptic community, and so many others. And every country is very similar. Right now, we saw President Trump's comments. I was saddened not to hear him use the word Islamic terrorism. They're starting to not hear that we are holding them accountable to the Islamist ideology that needs reform. And I hope that goes back to what he said during the campaign and no longer shifts based on simply and accounting to what we want to please our allies, the dictators.
Yeah, and Doctor, you know, the Trump administration, the president as well, have repeatedly pointed out that this terrorist ideology has slaughtered Muslims by the score. You know, but by the way, the president did get a victory from the Supreme Court on the travel ban from terror hotspots. It's a short-term ban. You know, Democrats have supported this kind of a move. That includes Obama, Schumer, and Clinton. They wanted the same thing at certain points. Can this still be considered a Muslim ban, given the top Muslim countries are not on the list? They include Pakistan, Indonesia, and Egypt.
Absolutely not. It's not a Muslim ban. It's a temporary stop on countries that are on the border of anarchies, be it Yemen, Libya, Iran, etc., that are countries that don't share our values, that we don't have good communication with to vet people coming. And Justice Kennedy put it back to the executive that he needs to basically hear the case in October, which is coming soon on October 10th.
Dr. Jasser, we love having you on. Come back soon.
Anytime. Thanks, Liz.